If you're looking at automated external defibrillators, AEDs, for your workplace in Australia, you may well have narrowed down your shortlist to these two brands. This brand is the HeartSine, and it's the 360P model. This one is the LifePak, it's the CR2. This one's the Wi-Fi connected version. There's several versions of that LifePak CR2 that we'll talk about in this video. Now, we've put this video together to help navigate through the differences in the features between these two most popular models in our range. So it's put together to assist SafetyQuip clients to navigate through the differences. This one is slightly more premium, it's slightly dearer. This one's more of a compliance model. For the record, if I ever suffer a sudden cardiac arrest and you're around and you can assist me and you've got the choice of these two units, I would like you to use this one on me. There's a number of excellent features that will become clear as we get into this video. So let's start off by talking about the similarities between the two. So they're both what we call fully automatic AEDs. So AED, Automated External Defibrillator, also called defibrillator, also called defib. That's all the same thing. Used to assist somebody that has suffered a sudden cardiac arrest, an electrical malfunction of the heart. They're both designed to potentially deliver a shock, if required, to restart the heart of the person that suffered the sudden cardiac arrest. So they're both used for the same purpose. They're both what we call fully automatic units. So if we get to the scenario where a shock is appropriate to be delivered, they'll both deliver that shock automatically without an additional button needing to be pressed. There's also what we call semi-automatic units on the market, which require somebody to press a button to deliver a shock. The public access units, these are both public access units, they're designed to be used by somebody in an emergency, the person not having much training on the unit, having very little knowledge of how to use it. These ones, fully automatic is considered to be mainstream now. A paramedic that has a high level of training in this space might prefer to use a semi-automatic model where they can move slightly faster to get to the point where they can deliver a shock to the person that suffered the sudden cardiac arrest. But for the rest of us novices, the fully automatic public access units are what's considered to be mainstream in Australia now. So in a workplace, fully automatic is normally the way to go. So the similarities, fully automatic, they're both an AED. They both have a massive 8-year warranty. They both have a battery and pads that get changed every 4 years. So long interval before you need to change the battery or the pad. So they have their own inbuilt battery or onboard battery. So they don't need mains power. Batteries on board. They both have an excellent dust and liquid ingress protection rating, so an IP rating. That means that they can handle a variety of climatic conditions. Okay, let's talk about the differences now. I'm going to grab the training unit for the LifePak brand. So that's this one. This is the real McCoy. So I'm going to use the training unit so that we can see a few of the features. Now, this is the unit that we would bring out to a client's workplace who has purchased AEDs for their team, and they'd like the team to be shown how to use those AEDs. We often attend a client's site to run through, where the new AEDs are located, what their purpose is, and how to use them. The more people in the workplace that know that they're there, they feel confident to use them, they feel confident to see the signs of somebody that suffered a sudden cardiac arrest and can move fast. Because really, we talk about in training, the best time to use an AED is in the first 3 minutes of when somebody has suffered a sudden cardiac arrest. So speed, like easy access to an AED, speed of decision making, and getting this hooked up to the person is critical. They say that for every minute after the sudden cardiac arrest has occurred, it's considered to be a 10% decrease in the person surviving the event. So after 10 minutes, it's sort of game over sort of stuff. But the first 3 minutes is critical. It's the best time to use the AED. One other similarity between the two, they're both in a shock resistant case. So if you drop the unit, there's more chance that it won't get broken. But inside this shock resistant case here is the unit that looks exactly like this. So the differences between the two. The thing that I like about this particular one is the ease of use of the product. So there's no button to press to power it up. I simply lift up the hinge of the lid. So you can see straight away there's an arrow here that's indicating to lift up that hinge. So it's very fast to lift that hinge to power the unit up.
Remove all clothing from patient's chest.
Just going to pause it there. So straight away it powered up. We didn't need to press a button. It's very clear what we need to do. So we need to expose the chest in order to put the pads on in a moment. But you can see that's step one. Step two is to pull this red handle and remove that to access the pads. So these are the pads that go on the chest of the patient. And you can see straight away there's a tab to pull and it's sticky on the back. So we can put that straight in the appropriate positions on the chest. You can see the red one and the yellow one. So there's a couple of things in that. Ease of use, number one. This is easier to use, in my opinion, than the HeartSine. Just back on the HeartSine, we need to press the power button to power that thing up. It's not automatically, on. And we also need to find where the pads are. So to get to the pads, it's this tab down here. And so it's not necessarily super obvious if you haven't had training. This is, in my opinion, faster and easier to deploy. This unit has what we call clear voice technology. Now, what that means is, and this applies to many SafetyQuip clients working in noisy environments, the voice that talks to you to issue instructions is loud, it's clear, and the pitch of the voice varies in line with the noise conditions around. So the unit is deciding, is there background noise? Is my voice going to be heard with these instructions? And it will vary the volume and pitch to make it more likely for you to understand, what those instructions are. That's a significant feature in noisy workplaces. You also heard that there was adult mode the unit talked about. So this is a great feature if there's a chance, with this unit, if there's a chance that there's infants or children around, this unit is very fast to use for both an adult and a child. You use the same unit for an adult and a child. You use the same pads for an adult and a child. And you can see on the illustration on the pads, a small, baby or infant, the pad goes sort of in the middle there, on the back and the front, as opposed to the adult, a different position on the chest. So we don't need to change the pads out to use on an infant versus an adult. That's massive. If you've got any chance ever that the unit might be used on a child, this is very fast to use on a child. You simply press this button if we're using it on an infant. That's the infant button. Whereas, say with the HeartSine, for example, this can be used on a child, but there's pediatric pads. So I would need to remove that pack, and if I happen to have a pediatric pack, I could slide that in and then I could use that on a child. But it's slower, and I need to know that that's what needs to happen. One of the things that I like about this particular unit, being I'm a big bloke, I'm thinking, is this unit going to deliver enough of a shock to restart my heart in the event that I've suffered a sudden cardiac arrest? This unit has the largest shock of others that are on the public access market in Australia. So this will deliver up to a 360 joule shock. It escalates, so it starts a little bit lower, and then it gets up to 360 joules, as opposed to most of the other units. Like, for example, the HeartSine unit, that's a maximum shock of 200 joules. So my point is, for a large adult, the LifePak unit is more likely to deliver a shock at the appropriate level to be effective in restarting the heart. That's actually what we consider to be hospital grade, 360 joules. That's many of the units that are used in the medical field in hospitals, operate at 360 joules. So yeah, very reassuring for larger adults. The other things that I like about the unit So the LifePak, there's 3 units that we're going to talk about that are all of this appearance. They're all the LifePak CR2. We have 3 different versions of it. One's called the Essential, one's the Connected Wi-Fi, and the third one is the Connected 4G. That's the new one that we're about to release on the Australian market. So the Essential doesn't have this next feature that I'm about to speak about. The Connected Wi-Fi and the Connected 4G both have it. So the feature is known as CPR Insight. So what it means is, in the event that the unit is hooked up to somebody that suffered a sudden cardiac arrest, the pads are on the chest, it's analysing the heart rhythm of the person. All the others on the market require you to stand clear, stand well back from the person, whilst the AED analyses the heart rhythm of the patient. The LifePak connected units, so the Wi-Fi and the 4G, have this feature, CPR Insight, which allows you to keep delivering chest compressions to the person whilst it's analysing the rhythm. That's a game changer for AEDs. Everyone talks about the blood, has stopped being pumped around the body. Oxygen's not getting to the brain while somebody's, had a sudden cardiac arrest. If we stop delivering those chest compressions, no blood's moving around. So this one allows you to keep going with those chest compressions. It's not in the Essential version of the CR2 though, so be aware of that. The Essential is a little bit cheaper, but it doesn't have CPR Insight. Now, let's talk about the 2 connected versions of the LifePak CR2 now. So we've got the Wi-Fi version and the new 4G. So both of these units have connection to the internet to allow the unit to check in. So this is great for your ongoing maintenance of the unit. So if you've got a fleet of these AEDs around the place, you want to check that they're functional. So imagine the scenario of somebody suffering a sudden cardiac arrest. A bystander realises what's happened. They are able to locate an AED. They race that to the person, and they go to use it, and the battery's flat. We don't want that scenario. So the best possible chance of that being avoided by the unit being functional all the time is connection to the internet. We get a notification if the unit isn't happy. So the Wi-Fi connected version operates on a Wi-Fi network. So if you've got a Wi-Fi network at work that you can have the AED on, your chance of that unit not being functional at your time of need is greatly reduced. It's more likely to be working because it will tell you when it's not happy. Now, the new unit, the 4G connected, that's a game changer. We see at SafetyQuip, we supply workplace safety gear to all different sorts of industries right around Australia. Some are mobile, some are remote. The 4G cellular connectivity is a game changer. That doesn't require you to have it connected to your Wi-Fi network at work. So you can have it in a motor vehicle that has a SIM card inside, and it uses the mobile phone network to check in with its health and advise you if maybe the battery's flat or the pads need to be changed or whatever. I'm not aware of anything else on the market that has that functionality. I'm not aware of another brand that does that. That's the HeartSine 360P, the LifePak Essential Wi-Fi connected and 4G cellular devices. Further questions, hit us up at SafetyQuip. We've got staff right around the country, a dozen branches around the country. Speak with our team for further information. We've got data sheets on each of the units that talk about all the specifics of each unit. But pick up the phone and have a chat. If you're in South Australia particularly, you may be aware that there's now legislation that requires mandatory AEDs in certain circumstances. So if you need help on that, scream out, we can assist.